Okay, so this is a little bit of a follow-up video that I mentioned in my previous video about Hime Hajime, but this time we are now talking about Zentreya. Zentreya, as you can see now, is no longer a part of VShojo. She's lost her tick mark that comes with being a part of the company, and obviously they even followed up with a post which I wanted to get into, and just I wanted to talk about the overall graduation of Zentreya. She's not graduating, but the overall exit of Zentreya from VShojo, because obviously she has been such a massive part of VShojo for so long, and they've done a lot of really big things for the company, including, helping out some VTubers on the outside and trying to get them to kind of interact with people in VShojo as well, which honestly has been great. And it seems like they're still planning to do that moving forwards with some new posts, which I've seen recently, which I just want to show you guys. But essentially, this was the post that Zentreya put up saying, "Change is scary. That's how life goes. Things change, surroundings change, and so do our lives and those around us. This is one of the moments where we go into a new direction, and I hope you'll stick around. If not, thank you for everything. If you are, buckle up." Because again, Zentreya is still planning to move forward, streaming and doing everything like normal. Again, nothing has really changed apart from the fact that they're not a part of VShojo anymore. Obviously, yeah, people like Haruka saying, "Change is hella scary, but you're doing great, Zen. Keep kicking ass, Zena." It said, "Thanks, Haru." Obviously, Amelie saying, "Much love to you." Charlie saying, "You're literally the coolest person I know. I'm so proud of you, Zen. You got this." Geega saying, "New beginnings, you got this." Matara saying, "Love you." Again, so much support from all of these VTubers. You got Laimu, Sayu, you got so many different people that are commenting, even some other, VShojo members. And it seems like a lot of the VShojo members are, interacting with Zen on this stuff. And it's very interesting to see the dynamic of it, because people have been kind of bringing up this one point to do Zentreya's kind of exit, is the fact that ironmouse has now unfollowed her, and they've unfollowed each other. Even before the actual official of her, literally the day, because obviously she had a couple days, 14 days or whatever, until she left. She even unfollowed her before that even happened, which I think is very interesting. And obviously, we don't want to go into too much speculation of what happened, because again, it could just be a misunderstanding. It could be something that maybe has gone on behind the scenes. We don't know. But obviously, yeah, she's been unfollowed by ironmouse and also Seadog as well. So again, it's pretty interesting, and obviously they don't, Zentreya doesn't follow them back either, so I don't know which way it could have been round. It could have been ironmouse unfollowing her, it could have been Zentreya unfollowing ironmouse. I don't really know, but obviously there could have been maybe some kind of disagreement behind there, which I think is very interesting. And obviously ironmouse usually does show a lot of support to a lot of members, especially Zentreya, who has been, such a huge part of VShojo and has been there since, the beginning pretty much, alongside ironmouse and people like that. It's kind of strange that, obviously she hasn't commented on this and whatever, because again, you would expect it, but maybe, it's all done behind the scenes and, she said goodbye to her behind the scenes. But it is very weird with the whole unfollowing, no replies or anything on these posts. And I think, a lot of people are starting to wonder, what really did happen behind the scenes. And again, I'm not going to go into any kind of theories that people have of what happened, but again, I think it is just something that should be talked about and should be kind of mentioned, because it is a very weird anomaly, which you can kind of spot. I even checked the other day, because obviously it was a thing that was just brought up in a Reddit comment of someone saying that. Obviously, you know the rules. You don't always just, go, "Oh, Reddit said it, so it's right." Obviously, I went to Zentreya's account and ironmouse's accounts just to double check that they weren't following each other, and yeah, that it did back up that kind of stuff. And it's not like ironmouse keeps a small kind of following list. The same with Zentreya too. They both follow 2,000 people almost. So again, it's not like they're just trying to keep their timeline condensed to just the relevant kind of stuff. They do follow everyone. So again, it's not even anything to do with account sorting. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something to be kind of, I guess, brought up. But again, we won't know anything unless anybody comes out about any of the information, what has actually happened behind the scenes. But it definitely does seem like something did happen. But yeah, obviously Zentreya has had such a huge kind of effect on VShojo, as I said, in terms of getting a lot of people to collaborate with them. But also she's been helping out a lot of other people as well, including helping out a small streamer, apparently, or a small VTuber. They said, "Zentreya will still give a small VTuber a leg up as promised months ago." Obviously, this is the link to Zentreya's post over on Twitter, apparently. Yeah, they said, "I will still be proceeding with helping out a smaller VTuber to acquire model assets, etc. Give me a little more time with this large change up. That has never changed. Now always do my best to support as many as I can." So obviously she still plans to go ahead and actually follow up on her promise with that. So that's really good to see that she's still helping out people. And obviously as well, you see this one too. Zentreya also said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I want to try. I want to give someone the opportunity to get that dream. What if I paid for someone's VTuber debut on a good budget? I'll help you with design, character sheet, model art, rigs, assets, and even more. So also to be clear, if I do this, the money comes out of my pocket. You will not pay for anything at all. I'll cover you and you go out and have fun, and I'll see what I can do on the side for you. I've been thinking on this for quite a while, so we'll see. Which obviously, yeah, is a very nice gesture as well, because obviously a lot of smaller VTubers don't really get that chance, and some people obviously start off with a very cheap model or whatever, or a very just accessible model, where essentially maybe they can't have the exact design that they want, or maybe it can be a little bit disappointing sometimes, but I do think with Zentreya helping them out and give them some money to have the VTuber model they want and have some extra things that they can use, it can really help them with a leg up in terms of getting into the VTuber space. So it will be exciting to see what kind of comes from that. And obviously, as I said, Zentreya still plans on doing this moving forwards. Obviously, people in the comments saying Zentreya stealthily becoming the CEO of her own new VTuber corp, said, oh boy, Zen is going to start her own agency. I called it. Obviously, that's what a lot of people have been speculating in the background, that maybe Zen has left VShojo to create their own kind of company to organize VTubers, whether that is doing stuff like paying for them. I doubt she'll pay for every single model or whatever, but I do think, just getting people on board and having some kind of agency, whatever, that may be, I feel like it might even be less restrictive than VShojo, because obviously we know that, you have like the highest amount of restrictions whenever it comes to like JP kind of VTubers, and then it goes like VShojo, where they're like, they let you keep your IP and everything, which is a lot less loose, and then maybe Zen will be right underneath that with an even looser kind of VTuber company, which would be very interesting to see. But obviously that is all speculation and people thinking that's going to happen. It might never happen. She might just continue to be an indie VTuber and just help a couple of people behind the scenes, which honestly I think would be also pretty nice. They're saying, starting to think some people were on to something with the auditions being what broke the camel's back. They said, can you elaborate? They said Zen for the longest time has wanted to support smaller VTubers and also not appear as if her or VShojo are just trying to do nepo hires with the auditions. One of the biggest critiques slash VShojo has ever had ever since Haruka joined, and with it being so long and nothing has been announced or hinted with the auditions, it makes it seem like that didn't pan out. And given that Zen is still promising this, and this is still one of the first things she says as an indie again, it makes it seem like this is going to be a priority. No, seems like Seam is carrying a lot of weight from what I'm saying, and if someone wants to disregard what I'm saying due to this, I completely understand. So obviously that's what people are kind of speculating whenever it comes to that kind of stuff, and definitely that is true. Obviously there has been this whole kind of like thought that people have been going around with VShojo, essentially saying that, yeah, they're hiring like nepo hires, like either it's like an old VTuber or like someone already pretty well established and then letting them go on, rather than maybe hiring like a new VTuber that could actually, benefit off of this and, hold actual talent kind of auditions to see that this person is actually talented and give someone that is smaller an opportunity, rather than giving an opportunity to someone who's already built up quite a big audience already. And obviously it seems like Zen was, pushing for that quite heavily, obviously, due to her desire to help out quite a lot of, smaller VTubers. And we can see that with a lot of these screenshots and stuff that I've been showing you, obviously, of her still wanting to help out this smaller VTuber get a full model and everything. So obviously, yeah, maybe that could potentially be a reason as to why, Zentreya left, because that stuff didn't pan out. But as I said, it is still speculation. It is still people talking about this in the background and just kind of, it's just like mainly from what people are seeing, and I definitely think it is it's a valid point. It's a valid thing to think, and I think that, obviously if you don't want to believe that kind of stuff, then sure, that's totally fine too. But I think from what we've seen, it definitely does make sense. Obviously, some said, so here's some context that I think by now most people generally won't know because of how much the scene has exploded since those times. Back before VShojo, there was a group called Virtual Streamers Worldwide. Zentreya was the largest member by a lot. Like, I'm almost certain at least one order of magnitude, and I think quite possibly even two. When she joined VShojo, Zen basically abandoned it though. Now I'm wondering if she didn't go into VShojo thinking it would be a more organized one and lift up smaller streamers who joined up with them, and has grown to be disillusioned that it will be forever that. And so he said, looking into that account, so far we've received hundreds of applications so far, our biggest amount of recruits to the VSW to date. Oof, a dream that never happened. So yeah, obviously they're saying maybe, you know, they said, yeah, I'll jokingly refer to VSW as the skeletons in VShojo's closet because VShojo forming basically killed them. Which, yeah, I don't really know. I don't understand exactly, you know, the competition between them two. I mean, I don't know. It's just interesting to see that Zentreya is helping out smaller creators in the future, and that is a good thing. At least that is the only positive thing that we can take away. And all we can do is just speculate on what is happening and just try to, you know, understand that things have changed and, you know, for whatever reason that may be. And yeah, that's pretty much just how it is. But yeah, that's pretty much an update on the Zentreya kind of exiting VShojo. I just wanted to give you guys this kind of update because, again, there's some more information that come out. And obviously, since the whole Hime stuff, which I talked about yesterday, it has been pretty interesting. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Keza, get 10% off. Again, there's a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.